Hello, my dear students. How are you all? I hope you all are doing really very well. In our today's class, my dear student, we are going to continue our chapter number 10. And our chapter number 10 is all about our government. Okay. So previously we have seen how many types of government prevail in the world. Okay. Democratic government, authoritarian government, and monarchical government. Okay. Our country, India, enjoys democratic form of government. Okay. In democratic form of government, we also have seen the three organs: our legislative, our executive, and our judiciary. Legislative and executive are related with the central government, and worked as judiciary worked with Constitution of India. Okay, so my dear student, now we are going to see the first topic of our today's class is laws and the government. Okay, means laws, how laws are related with the government. So come with me and let's see. The government makes laws. You all know, my dear student, I hope till now everything is clear to you all. Okay. See, laws are made by our government. Okay. Laws are made by our government, and everyone who used to leave our country, India, they have to follow these rules. Okay. This is the only way government can function. Okay. So, in this way, this is the only way through which we can show that yes, exactly our government is functioning. Okay. Just like the government has the power to make decisions, similarly, it has the power to enforce its decision. You all know, my dear students, central government enjoys executive and legislative powers. Legislative powers means the government is responsible for making law. If government can make law, then it can also force those law on the people. Okay, for example, there is a law that says all persons driving a motor vehicle must have a license. Okay, so here example is given that all those person who used to drive four-wheeler, two-wheeler, or any kind of vehicle, they must carry driving license. Okay, any person caught driving a vehicle without a license can either be jailed or fined a large sum of money. So if traffic police catches any person who is driving the vehicle without proper driving license, that person must be that person may be face jail or fined with huge amount of money. Without these laws, the government power to make decision is not much as used. See, this is a law. This is a law made by our government that every person who used to drive vehicles, they must carry driving license. Okay, it is a law. Okay, and on the other hand side, if any person is caught without having a proper driving license, they might face jail or they might face heavy amount of fine. See, rule is made by government and rule is also forced by government, but that rule is a positive rule. Okay, because if I'm driving a vehicle without any driving license, maybe in a road accident I can kill myself or I can kill other person also. So it is mandatory, my dear student, if you want to drive a vehicle, then you must carry driving license. Okay, now what type of government exist? Who gives the government this power? Now from where our government got this type of power? From where our government get this powers? Okay, means who gave the powers to the government? Okay, who gave power? So here we are going to see. The answer of this question depends on the type of government there in country. See, type of government means who gave the power to the government to form this law, to enforce this law on their citizens. It's totally dependent upon that what type of government system that country is forming or that country is seeing. Okay, in a democracy, it is the people who give the government this power. So if the country is facing the democratic government, okay, then the people of that country is responsible for forming the government. Okay, they do, see, they do this process by using elections. Okay, in elections they select their candidates. Once elected, this persons form the government. Okay, so after winning the election, that persons or that group of persons can form the government. In the democracy, the government had to explain its actions and defend its decision. Now see, my dear student, in authoritative government is not responsible. Even in monarchical form also, even in monarchical form also, the rulers are not responsible to explain their actions. Okay, to explain their laws to the people. But in democratic form of government is 100% responsible for explaining their actions. You know, why the government is doing or why the government is taking this actions. Okay, Other ways of participating, see, apart from elections, how many other ways, okay, in what way, in what other ways we can participate in it selecting our elections. Now see, elections are usually held once in a 5 year. You all know, my dear student, the okay, the time limit, okay, the time in which election is conducted on every 5 years, okay. Beside voting, there are many other ways of participating in the process of government. In election, we the people of India got the right to vote. But apart from this voting right, we can also enjoy another ways through which we can choose our government. Like, people participate by taking an interest in the working of the government and by criticizing it when required. So, in what other ways? So, the first way, we the people of India can take participate, okay, or we do participation, okay, in the process in which we can appraise the government or we can criticize the government if we are not happy, okay. In August 2005, when the particular government increased the electricity, people expressed their disapproval very sharply. See, in 2005 August, okay, when the party who rules in central government, they increased the electricity bill, okay. So at that time, people started protesting against their government. They took out rallies and also organized a signature campaign. So, in what way people started opposing? They started doing protest, or they started a signature campaign also. Okay, the government tried to explain, defend its decision, but finally listened to the people's opinion and withdraw the increase. Okay, now at that time, the government who ruled at central level, they tried to explain their action that why we need to increase the electricity bill. Okay, but at last, what happened? At last, the common people own. Okay, so lastly, central government withdraw that law. There are many other ways in which people, the people who live in democratic form of government, they can express their views or they can make their government, okay. Like, what other ways? They can set on dharnas, okay. They can participate in rallies, they do strikes, signature campaigns, etc. Things that are unfair and unjust are also brought forward, okay. Now see, the things which are very unjusticiable in nature or unfair in nature, they can also got limelight, okay. Now what are the medium, okay, through which medium they can get limelight? Newspaper, magazines, and television channels, okay. While it is true that democracy allow people to participate, it is also true that all not all section of people are actually able to do so. Now see, democracy means all the people who used to live in that area, they can enjoy freedom. But you know what, not all the section of the people enjoy democracy, okay. Another way for the people to participate is by organizing themselves in social movement. Another way through which we can choose our government is organizing social movements, okay. Member of the minority committees, dalits, adivasis, women, and often other participate in this manner, okay. So in this way, my dear student, we have seen in what other ways we can participate in forming our government. Now we are going to see the equality and justice, okay. Equality and justice are the two major pillar in any democratic form of government, okay. See, equality and justice are inseparable. If you want to justice, then equality is must, and if you want to bring equality, then justice is must, okay. The earlier practice of untouchability is now banned by law. You all know, my dear student, untouchability, such a cruel practice is prevailed in our ancient India. Okay, now the practice of untouchability is completely abolished by the law. Such group of people were denied education, transport, or medical facilities, and even the chances to offer prayer. You know what? What is the meaning of untouchability? Earlier, the people who belong to small caste or the lower caste, they are prohibited, means they are not allowed to get education, they are not allowed to get medical treatment, even they are not allowed to enter in temples or mosque, any religious palace, okay. They are not allowed due to this untouchability, okay. Dr. Ambedkar, you all know, my dear student, Dr. Ambedkar is known as the father of our constitution, okay. Dr. Ambedkar was also belongs to the Dalit community, okay. He immediately realized that this practices are very cruel practices. If these practices continue in our country India, then the upcoming generation is going to suffer a lot, okay. So he immediately realized that justice can only be served in our country India when people are treated equally, okay. The government also recognizes this. Okay, so the government of that time immediately recognized this thought of Dr. Ambedkar, and they made a special provision to for the people who belongs to those groups. Okay, for instance, in our society, there is a general tendency, value, and care for the boy more than the girl child. And you know what? Apart from untouchability, another kind of social evil prevail in our society, that people prefer boy child in comparison of girl child. Okay, suppose if first and second child birthed in the form of girl, people are not happy. Okay, they are saying, oh my god, now who is going to continue our legacy? Two girls, how they are continue after marriage? They have to leave their place, they have to go to their in-laws. Okay, see, such type of social awareness is prevailed apart from untouchability. Okay, it means what? It means that in our society, in our Indian society, girls and boys are treated unequally, they are not treated equally. Okay, in this context, the government, okay, so to solving this type of problem, our government started promoting justice towards the direction of giving equality between boy and girl child. Okay, so it is possible that fees for the girl child might be waived. Now in what way government is giving equality? Now in what way government is bringing equality between boy and girl child? The first example is government started decreasing the fees for the girl child, because my dear students, sometimes what happened, family is financially stable, or maybe sometime what happened, family is financially unstable. Okay, so in both conditions, my dear student, those families prefer to educate their boy child, not their girl child. Okay, so if fees is low, then maybe it is possible that family, the parent of those girls, can also send their girl child to the school. Okay, now many government schools and colleges are also established. Okay, so my dear student, now we are going to see the three different levels of the government. Like, see, any government typically functions at a minimum two levels. Any form of the government has to work on two minimum levels. Example, national and local. Okay, any form of the government has to work on two levels, national level and local level. In several countries, including our country India, our government operates at three levels: local, state, and regional. Okay, and national. Each level is responsible for handling different issues. Okay, now see, many countries of the world, including our India, the government works at three levels: local, okay, state or regional, and national level. Okay, and each of these level are 100% responsible for handling different issues. Okay, to illustrate this, so to understanding this, we are going to imagine a light bulb in your home is not working. Here example is given that a light bulb is not working at your home. Okay, first you would check the bulb. So first thing what you are going to do, you are going to check the bulb. Okay, and in what way you are going to check the bulb? You are going to switch on or switch off the bulb. Okay, or to see whether the bulb is fused or not. Okay, if that doesn't solve the problem, you might call an electrician. Okay, but still after switching on, switching off, your bulb is not working, then now what you are going to do? You are going to call an electrician. Okay, if the problem is found to be beyond your home wiring, you would then need to contact the electricity board to file a complaint. Okay, now when you call the electrician and that electrician told you that, ma'am, sir, the problem is not in your house. Okay, it is a fault. Okay, it is a fault in the area wiring. Okay, in area electrical wiring. Now what you are going to do? Because this problem, the to solve this problem is not in the hand of the electrician. So at this level, you are going to contact electricity board of that area for filing the complaint. Okay, this is an example of three levels involved in addressing in problem. So in this way, my dear student, you have seen you are going to address your problem at three level. First of all, at the local level. Okay, local level means first of all you are trying to solve this problem at your own. Okay, at home. So this is a local problem. Then you are going to call electrician. Okay, it means you are going to complain at, you are going to register your complaint at state level. Okay, now when electrician is also not able to solve this problem, then what you are going to do? You are going to contact electricity board of your area. Here electricity board act as your central government. Okay, so I hope, my dear student, the concept of your local government, state or regional government, and central government is quite clear to you all. Okay, now here there's a chart is given. You can see here, my dear student, The first form of government is your central government, and central government is 100% responsible for working at the national level. Okay. State government is responsible for handling state affairs. Local government is responsible for handling town and village affairs. Okay. In India, my dear student, there are the three levels of the government. Okay. State, local, and central, or union. Central government is also known as union government. Okay. For example, again we are going to see another example, like a heavy rainfall occurs in your area which resulted in flood. Okay. If the situation is not too severe, the local authorities may handle. See, if the flood situation is not too severe, okay, it is not damaging so much public properties, that then then this problem will be handled by the local authority of the area. But however, the flood impact multiple villages and town, the state government will intervene, sending rescue teams to assist affected people. Okay. But now what happened if local authorities are not able to handle flood situation? Because earlier flood is limited to a area. Okay. That area is the problem in that area is solved by the local authority. But now what happened? Okay. Due to continuous rainfall, that flood air water spread not only in 2 3 villages, but it covers the more or half of the state. Okay. So here state government will interfere. Okay. Now in what way they are going to interfere? They are going to send many rescue teams to tackle this flood problem. Okay. In case of major flood affecting large region, the central government may also help. Okay. See, this flood situation first of all occurs at the local level, then local authorities is going to tackle with this problem. Now when this flood problem becomes severe, okay, it is going to be handled by your state government. But what happened, my dear students, sometimes in a rainy season, flood affected many states. Like you can take the example of Himachal Pradesh. If Himachal Pradesh is affected, Uttarakhand will also affect. If Uttarakhand is affected, at Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, they also got affected. See, this problem is not limited to only one state. Okay, now it is spreading in more than 4 to 5 states. So here comes the role of our central government. Okay, so in this matter, central government is going to interfere. Okay. In what way they are going to interfere? They are going to supply reliefs, they are going to deploy the armies. Okay. So in this way, my dear student, you can see how these three forms of the government work together. Okay. Now here we are going to see, my dear student, the table. Okay. Through this table you can easily understand that what major work performed by central government, what major work performed by state government, and what major work performed by local government. So come with me, let's see. So the if I'm talking about union government, okay, see, first of all, my dear student, we are going to see about judiciary system. Okay. Why we are going to see at first judiciary? Because legislative and executive enjoyed by or performed by central government. Judiciary is above all this, because judiciary is not related to any form of government. It is it directly deals with the constitution, and constitution is above all form of the government. Okay. So that's why among your legislative, among your executive, among judiciary got the first place. So, judiciary, if I'm talking about judiciary system at all India level, then I'm talking about Supreme Court of India, which is located in New Delhi. And if I'm talking about the judiciary system at the state level, then I'm talking about the high courts of India. Okay. Total, there are 25 high courts in our country, India. Okay. Now the judiciary, legislative come. Okay. If I'm talking about the national level, or if I'm talking about the union government, then in union government, my dear student, there are the two houses of legislature is present. Okay. Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. These two houses means Lok Sabha means lower house, Rajya Sabha means upper house. Okay. These two houses are 100% responsible for forming national laws. Okay. And on a state level, the legislature body consists of one state assembly. Okay. One state assembly, or Vidhan Sabha. Okay. Note that most states have a single assembly, a few states have two. Okay. See, many states of India only have a single assembly, but few states of our country, India, have two states. Okay. Means Vidhan Sabha. Okay. Vidhan Sabha as well as your Vidhan Parishad. Okay. Now, central government, at central government level, I'm talking about the executive. Okay. So at central government level, my dear student, executive body is led by the president of India. Okay. President of India is the first person of our country, India, and the Supreme Commander of Indian Armed Forces. I hope, my dear student, you all know about this thing. President of India is known as the first person of our country, India, and head of all the three armed forces, means our Indian Army, our Indian Navy, and our Indian Air Force. Okay, Prime Minister as the executive head. Okay, now at the state level, executive body led by governor. Okay, followed by chief minister and the executive head. Now, what type of executive functions central government has to perform? Here you can see what type of functions and responsibilities central government has to perform. Defense matter, your foreign affairs, your atomic energy, communication, currency, interstate commerce, education, formulation of national policies. All these things comes under central government. Okay, now at a state level, my dear student, state government has fully responsible for performing. First of all, they have fully responsible for maintaining police law and order in the state, adaptation and implementation of laws made by the central government at the state level. See, state government make any law, then state government is responsible to implement that law at their state. Okay, public health, for maintaining public health, education, agriculture, irrigation, local government. Okay, so in this way, my dear student, I hope now the concept of these three bodies, judiciary body, legislative body, and executive body, is quite clear to you all. Okay, now here, my dear student, you have seen about Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. I hope you all know APJ Abdul Kalam is known as the missile man of our country, India. Okay, so this paragraph means this whole page is dedicated to APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, Kalam Sahab was born in Rameshwaram, Tamil Nadu. Okay, he is known as the missile man of our country, India, and he is also one of the former president of our country, India. Okay, Kalam sir, known as for his contribution in India's space and technology. Okay, he joined DRDO. The full form of DRDO is Defense Research and Development Organization and Indian Space Research Organization (ISRO) in the early stages of his career. Okay, now his work on the development of ballistic missiles and launch vehicle technology earned him the nickname of Missile Man of India. Okay, now see why APJ Abdul Kalam and Vajpayee. Okay, Vajpayee, who was our former Prime Minister of India. Okay, these two famous personality, why they gain so much popularity among the Indian people? Because Mr. Kalam and Mr. Vajpayee is responsible for doing for India's first nuclear weapon trial at Pokhran in 1998. Despite India is receiving a huge pressure from United States of America, America don't want that India do their nuclear weapon uh, trial, but still Mr. Vajpayee and Mr. Kalam, these two personalities forced our country India that yes, now we are going to become an independent in the matter of nuclear energies. We are going to trial. Okay, we are going to take a trial of our atomic energy. Okay, and in 1998 at Pokhran in Rajasthan, our India's first nuclear weapon trial happened under the leadership of Dr. Kalam. Okay, and at that time, Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister of our country, India. Okay. So, due to this, my dear student, India not only established himself as a nuclear power among the countries, but it also demonstrated that India is technologically and scientifically developed country. Okay. Mr. Kalam passed away on the 27th of July 2015 when he was delivering a lecture at IIM Shillong. Okay. On his birthday, 15th October, it is celebrated at World Student Day. Okay, so in this way, my dear student, you can see how rich the legacy of Mr. Kalam. Okay, so here you can see the many famous quotes quoted by Mr. Kalam. Now, democracy. What is the meaning of democracy? Let's see. Democracy means, my dear student, first of all, we have discussed representative of the people. Okay, we know the democracy means representatives of the people. Okay, it is, see, democracy is the key point for forming any democratic form of government. Okay, democracy. Okay, the word democracy. Okay, the word democracy is originated from Greek. Okay, from two Greek words named demos means people and kratos means rule. Okay, so democracy means rule of the people. Okay, however, can all people actually participate in ruling? No, not a practical. Imagine if your class had a problem to address with the school's principal, perhaps something about the classroom, the infrastructure, proposing a date, would the entire class go to the principal? This is the best example. You all are students. Suppose some major issue arises among your school, okay, among your class, okay. So to address that problem to your principal, whole class will go? No, they will send some students, okay, and those students are responsible for addressing their class problem in front of the principal, okay. Similarly, my dear student, all people can't represent our country India. We people select our representative and send them in Lok Sabha, okay, send them in Lok Sabha. And always remember, my dear student, executive body is divided into two parts, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. Lok Sabha means people's house, okay. We send our elected representative in Lok Sabha, okay. So the representative who is elected by us, he or she is responsible for addressing our problems at central level, okay. Though elections, citizens vote for representatives who become member of the respective assembly. So here you can see, my dear student, at state level, if I'm talking about the state level, who is going to address our problem at state level, then MLAs are responsible. MLAs means member of legislative assembly, okay. And at national level, our MPs, okay, member of parliament, okay, member of parliament are responsible for addressing our problem, okay. This representative, now what type of problems they discuss in front of the central government or state government, like law problem, any address problem, okay. And after proposing all this problem, they also propose the solutions, okay. Also they propose solutions, okay. Like modern democracy, India, therefore India is a representative democracy, okay. So you all know India is a democratic country. It is also world's largest democracy. We all know our country India is the world's largest democracy, okay. Now, all the citizens of India who attend the 18 years of age, they can vote, okay. So here, my dear student, you can imagine the different cases in through in this way you are going to understand the concept of democracy. Example is given. Suppose you are planning a picnic, okay. You are planning a picnic and you discuss two things, okay. You discussed or you selected two areas where you want to go for picnic. The class discusses the advantages and disadvantages of each option, okay. Now you have selected two places, and at that two places you want to go for picnic. Now your whole class is discussing that if you are choosing a place, then this disadvantage may be faced, or if you are choosing B, then this advantage may be faced, okay. So despite this discussion, it become difficult to reach a unanimous decision. Now you are discussing both advantage and disadvantage of both places A and B. So it will create a very difficult situation to choose any one area where you want to go for picnic, okay. So for resolving this problem, you consult with your teachers, okay. Then your teacher will solve this problem, okay. And in what way she or he is going to solve this problem? Through the voting system, okay. So place A and place B, okay. So the election will contest between these two areas, and which area will got the main votes, means majority of votes, then that place is selected for a picnic, okay. So in this way, my dear student, you can see with the voting with the process of voting, you are going to solve your problem, okay. So voting is the simple solution through which majority of problems are solved in every democratic countries, okay. Representative are elected, okay. You all know through voting system at our national state level, we select our representative who is responsible for addressing their problems, okay. The term grassroots democracy refers to a system. Now the term democracy means system encourages the active involvement of the ordinary citizens in decision making, okay. Democracy means we ordinary people are also involved in the democratic process, okay. It includes all the citizens of the India forming the foundation of the society, who form the foundation of the society, okay, by their taken decisions, okay. We will explore now in the upcoming chapters, my dear student. You are going to explore more features about the Indian democracy. In this chapter, this is at all, okay. Now, my dear student, we are going to see the overview what we have learned through this chapter. First of all, what is the meaning of democratic government? You all know activation, participation of people, okay. We have seen the participation of people is an important element to forming any democratic government, okay. Equality is an important element in the democratic government. In India, elections are usually held once in every 5 years, okay. In democracy, they are the three organs of the government, and the name of those three organs: your legislative, executive, and judiciary. Okay, the right to express one's choice by voting for the candidate for public office is called the franchisee or suffrage. Okay, no country can run without governments. Every country have to adopt either democratic government, either authoritative government, or either monarchical government. Okay, the modern government has three organs. We all know: legislative, executive, and judiciary. The Indian government functions at three levels: central or union level, state level, and a local level. Democracy is the overall framework for this system. Okay, it functions through elected representative both at state and national level. Okay, so this is all about in this chapter, my dear student. I hope, my dear student, you all got a very good understanding of this chapter. Now you have to go thoroughly through this chapter and revise all the points. Okay, and complete all the exercise based on this chapter. Now I am taking leave, my dear student, going to meet with you all in my next class. Till then, my dear student, take very good care of yourself. Bye.